Hi, I'm Leather Rokk. I hope you can hear me. This is Garfield, and he's not a street cat anymore. Is anybody hungry? Where's my MAGA crowd out here? We gotta grill some MAGA steaks. And the reason why I call them MAGA steaks is because I'm MAGA. If you're watching me, maybe you're MAGA too. I got some Omaha steaks for Christmas, and they're thawed out, they're room temperature. I'm going to be using an electric grill. I haven't used this grill in like 5 years. I'm going to have to actually look at the directions. I'm going to have to refresh my memory because, steak, you don't want to mess up, right? And of course, the first thing I'm going to do is wash my hands, because if I don't wash my hands, I'm going to have steaks with gungy bungees from Pussycats on it. Pussycat gungy bungees. Yeah, so we don't want, well, and there's probably going to be cat hair on these steaks, but Trump-tastic steak can have a little side of cat hair. That's okay, right? Is that okay? Whoops. There you go. Wash my hands. Hey, next time the other person I live with is gone for a good chunk of time, I think I'm going to bleach my roots. You see, I have to know that as soon as they're ready, I can go in the shower and rinse out the hair. And if you don't have a way to rinse out your hair when you need to, you can break your hair off. Stuff Frank, RV Files. Hey, I intend to get a used school bus. I want to turn it into an RV. See the country. Oh, and he went down. He went bye bye. And look where Garfield is. Oh, you want to know what's in that bag? Jalapeno. I got lots and lots of hot peppers. And these I pinch them a little tiny bit, and they're good. And seeds, I like to include the seeds because I think most of the heat is in the seeds. Set this up here. I'm hot. This fan is doing diddly squat. I want to bring it closer to me. So I kind of screwed up yesterday. I was going to do these steaks on video, and I was really pissed off because I've been having lots of sound problems, and people have been reassuring me that in fact I am heard, and I don't need to be spending more money. I don't want to spend on more expensive equipment when I have to take Garfield to the vet. He's got some scabs on his skin, and he needs to have somebody look at him, maybe give him a real bath, check to see if he has fleas, even though I haven't seen any fleas, I haven't seen any worm evidence, but still, I want him to be comfortable, and I want to find out just exactly how old he is. I'm sure you're curious. So, how I'm going to grill these steaks, I'm going to be using an electric grill, and I'm going to put it together in front of you so you could see the setup. My mother has had this for 30 or 40 years. I don't know if they even make them anymore. First thing you got to do is align the hole in this with the hole in this. This is great because when the juices come down, if you get a lot of drippings, they can actually get collected in this. So if you want to make a gravy or something, or if you like the blood, that's one of the reasons why I like pan frying so much, is because when the blood runs out, you can make gravy with that. I love to, when I deglaze the pan afterwards, I put this frozen deglazed, basically the juices of whatever meat it is cooked. And you could do this with fish, you could do this with chicken, you could do it with pork. It doesn't matter. You could do it with goat. Oh, I love goat. Don't get me started. Don't know. It's probably really expensive now because all the meat's gone up. But I can make curry goat. So, but These are other parts to it. This is actually the heating element, and this goes through here. I guess it doesn't matter whether the seam is on the top or the bottom. I would guess it. Oh, there's seams on both sides, so it doesn't matter. You know what? I think maybe this goes on first. You saw me in a movie from 2003. Halle Berry was the star, was it? Or if it was a rock video, I was in a video for a band called Lit, and the song was called Lipstick and Bruises. Um, there was one thing though that I had to sue about that was done without my permission, and there was no model release. If it was anything even remotely sketchy or whatever, uh, because I would never do anything that was untoward. But one time I had a chance to do some kind of a student production in Los Angeles that where I would have played a female gangbanger. We were supposed to really beat up these guys, and it just seemed too creepy. Oh, okay. Well, then you know what? That thing that you're talking about, I did a lawsuit to try to suppress it. They actually slipped me something in a glass of wine. This was a year, like 6 months before I got sober. And they actually drugged me. I don't remember half of what happened. Uh, if it depicted acts of violence against women, I blacked it all out. I hope the heck you didn't pay for it. Those terrible dirtbags do not deserve any kind of compensation for what they do. They targeted me through an ad looking for actors. I'd recently come back from Los Angeles, and as you can imagine, you don't have much in the way of professional movie studios in the state of New Jersey. And these young guys, I got the feeling they were trying to use me for poor man's film school. And they drugged me, and I know they took some pictures that where I was wearing a thong because I was wearing a tight skirt, and I was standing on the edge of the bay here in Atlantic City, and they made it look like I wasn't wearing any underwear. They put a scrim, and they did a bunch of things to set me up. And I spent over $10,000 of my family's money on attorneys to prosecute them. Yeah. Also, it streams online. That's how they're doing it. Are they charging people to do it because they were selling it? And what happened was I had been suing them for a couple of years because lawsuits take a long time to get drawn out, and it's billable hours. That's how they get your money. They started off. They wanted a $5,000 retainer. The lawyer that I had. I had the shit lawyer. I'm telling you, I didn't because you see you can't just find entertainment lawyers in the state of New Jersey. Maybe now you can, but when that whole thing happened, I couldn't find any. And in California, something like that would have happened because right away they have much stricter laws about exploitation and consent. And you can't sign a contract without being able to provide consent. And I don't remember ever signing anything. You can't film somebody without them signing something. That's an absolute violation of a federal law. And what makes me sick is to say something really wonderful happened to me and I got famous tomorrow. Say I got a couple $1 million recording contract and they wanted me to do a talk show and do all these things. Then those sons of bitches would really make money on that. And like I said, I spent so much money trying to suppress it. When they did is they sold it to a Canadian distribution company. And even if Canada is right next to the United States, you would think it would be easy to still serve papers. You're crossing a border, but you're still on the same continent. But no, that costs a lot more money when you're sending legal paperwork to a certain address. If it's in Canada, it's a lot more money. And they basically bled me and my family dry. So, and the thing is, I thought since I had all these years experience in Hollywood in the motion picture industry, I would never be able to be taken advantage of by people. But you know what? There are some unscrupulous people. They set up a bunch of homeless people. They are the kind of people that would get homeless people drunk and get them to fight each other. Maybe they get some guy to pull his own tooth out. And I told them that I was a real Hollywood actress. Instead of taking me at my word, they decided to try to exploit me. And I didn't want to drink. And the thing is, because I was showing up on set trying to be professional, and since you always get fed on legitimate sets, I showed up hungry, and that was a big mistake. So if you give somebody any kind of alcohol on an empty stomach and you put a drug in it, that's really going to hit them. I only drank a half a small glass of wine. I did not want to drink it. They pressured me into drinking it. This was, and one of the things that's really scary about that is I vaguely remember a wrestling scene, and I don't know how it ended. I don't know what happened to me. But I want you to know that anybody that watches that sort of thing, you're watching exploitation of people that were unable to consent. You're watching, you may have seen rape. I don't know what that thing saw, but it was a very bad thing. And don't watch those things. And, oh, and they decided to put my legal name on it. I gone to court and had my name changed to make it so that it makes it so much easier when you're a showbiz professional and you change your name instead of doing the AKA thing when you're doing extra work and stuff. I have a stack of movie vouchers from working on TV shows and movies in the Los Angeles area from the 80s through 9/11. So I know that my videos don't have the best production values on here. I'm not dealing with a $50,000 plus set. I'm dealing with a laptop computer and its built-in webcam. Occasionally, I have auxiliary lighting. But and this computer is on its last legs, by the way. It turns off like 10 times a day. Sometimes it blue screens, but not the blue screen to death. It's a different kind of blue screen. It gives me an option of rebooting. And other times it gives me a black screen that shows the cursor only. And the only way I can get it right is to press the turn on button real hard for about 2 or 3 minutes. And finally it goes totally black. Then I press it on again for a while until I see the Dell sign, and then I release it, and then I turn it on. So this is happening more and more, which is telling me that I don't know how much longer I'm going to have use of it. So, and then to have people that are arguing with me in some of the comments saying that they had a $50 microphone, which would take care of the problems. I need to get my cat to the vet first. Any of you guys love your cats or dogs? Is it really? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I got to put this thing in to base this on so it doesn't mess up. And you know what? I'm actually going to have to look at the directions. And my mother's real hungry, by the way. I had chicken and rice last night. That's all I had. And collard greens, canned collard greens. Uh, okay, sport. Oh, okay. There's things here that brace the cooking element. Okay, see? Now I can put this thing on. Will stay. Okay, great. I never set out to cook online, but it's kind of fun. Right now, I'm going to plug this. Oh, I did say in the caption I'm going to make Trump-tastic steaks, and that could be really whatever we want. Uh, Unplug the computer thing since it's not even plugged in. I'll have to put it plugged in though. Uh, where can I? You know what? Actually, I think I'll put this up here. You can see this, right? And what I'll do is, oops, oh, wrong thing. I don't want to unplug the coffee pot. I'll plug this where the toaster oven gets plugged in. And I'm going to give you a close look of this setup here. Now, I'm going to take a look, see where the cat is. I'll be right. Okay, cat's on the floor of my mother's bedroom. So I'm going to, boy, I could smell whatever burning off the burner there. Of course, I did wipe it off with a slightly moist paper towel. So there might be a little bit of paper burning off. Hmm. I'm thirsty. So RV files, I like that. Yes, boy, thank you for your words of support. When that thing first happened, I went through a couple of years where I was afraid to go out in public because I was afraid everybody that saw me would recognize me from that. I was afraid that people would think that I was a whore. I was afraid that people thought I was mentally ill. It was one of the things that ended up scaring me sober. So, if anything good can be said to come out of it, but that was far from the only bad thing that ever happened to me that even remotely had any association with alcohol. Any woman that's had any experience with drinking will tell you that blackouts are such a very dangerous thing and it leaves anybody very, very, very vulnerable. You just can't be monitoring your entire safety when you're drunk. You just can't. Uh, I want to get something to sweeten this tea with. Actually, I like to use a loose tea with the tea leaves. And I like to do it in the coffee carafe. If you're curious, this is the dry tea that I'm using. I just store these in here. It's a loose tea and dry leaves. I'm going to be right back. All right, got this, and it's just a black tea. I guess I should let that thing heat up before I put the steak on, huh? Hold on. I'm back. Whew. All right, so we got some options for what I can do with these steaks here. My mom has a friend lives in Virginia, not too far from a place called Trump and she gave us some special steak rub. You know, I could just use Lee and pear and Worcestershire sauce. I love this so much. This is what these steaks look like. They're not big, tiny little, tiny. Mm. And set these on here. Just one thing is nice about these. Now, I soap and water wash the outside of the packaging so I wouldn't cross contaminate. And it says they're easy open. I'll be darned, they are. Wish you could smell this. It's just raw meat, but mm. I'm going to take a look at this little guide. They actually give you a guide that's a steak cooking chart. And I've got a clock over there. And I like to do my steak a cross between medium and well, kind of like in the middle, skirt that kind of. Because the last thing I want is briquettes, which are carcinogenic anyway. You know, you get that it's just like when you're making toast. If you get it absolutely black and you don't scrape it, that's acrylamide, and that's actually carcinogenic if you eat enough of it. So I choose not to. Plus, it's uh, uh, really bitter. Also, see, these are 1 inch thick. Okay, it says for best results, remove the vacuum sealed steaks from the box and thaw overnight in the refrigerator. You can also thaw the sealed steaks in cold water for 34. Blah, 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 blah. Let the have allow the oh. It says after cooking, allow the steaks to rest 3 to 5 minutes before serving. I know that's so the juices don't drip out. Verify the degree of doneness by using your uh, meat thermometer like we have one. The cooking times below are in minutes and based on fully thawed steaks. Uh, it says seasoning. Pat steaks dry and season liberally 30 minutes before grilling for a flavorful crust. Uh, so I wonder if this means that I should. Well, this is not a dry rub. This is just Worcestershire sauce. But maybe I should let it soak in for a few more minutes before I actually grill it. Do I want this to actually have that flavor? What this? we're not sharing with him. He gets his own food and stuff. It's like a totally different household with the other person. I love to fry up the blood. That's one of the things I love about frying up hamburgers is the blood that accumulates on the ground meat. One of the things I like at Thai restaurants, they have this thing called curdled pork blood. And what it is they fry the pork blood and they serve it in cubes, and it's fully solid and just needs a little bit of salt. And when I'm in Los Angeles, there is this restaurant I absolutely love called Sanam Luang Cafe, and it's near the corner of Hollywood Boulevard and Western. It's a little bit east of Western. And they used to be open till 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I think they might not be open quite as late because I haven't been there since 2006. But the prices were not all that expensive, and I am not exactly open to high prices. I'm going to, you know what? I'm hoping that this is the one that I just got out. Okay. See. So if these are too wet, I guess I'll find out about that. I don't think I better try to do more than two at a time. I could maybe, but I think I probably need more room. We take a look at the time now. It's about 3 minutes after 5. Oh, hey, everybody 21 or up, feeling maybe in the mood to do something on the grown-up side. This is not Cape May County, by the way. This is Atlantic County. I think the person would come in. I'll wait until they go past. Okay. Now, where was I? I checked the kids. Time for a MAGA stoner party. Oops. Well, at least, hey, at least I didn't break this. Now, right away, I got to pick this up because when you got cats around, just like if you had dogs, yeah, I took them out. I had to wash my hair so badly. I kept them big for as long as possible, and I put plastic bag around my hair, right? And the humidity waved my hair and got rid of the big, huge thing. But sometime, maybe as early as tomorrow, I am going to bleach my roots. And then when I rinse the bleach out, then I'm going to color my hair again. And I want to do as much as I can on video here. I need time where the other roommate is going to be gone for an extended period of time so that I can get in the shower at will. Can you imagine, see, you're doing a timing, bleaching your hair or dyeing your hair with a peroxide based dye? And then could you imagine not being able to get running water to rinse it out? And then can you imagine ending up with a crew cut because your hair broke off? I'm really worried about that. I think I'm going to just sweep this up. Oh, if you were here, I'd do it. I've been that first time I had my hair braided, I was 15. After I had it braided, I pretty much learned the technique. What I find hardest to do is braiding where I can't see the back of my head. With that, loose braid's a lot easier to do than a cornrow. But if you start the braids going down parallel to where your ear is, that's how you can start rows down that way. I don't want any shards of glass. You've got kitty paws. You don't want any of this. And now there's something, one of my purple dyes I'm looking for. I got a bunch of pouches. Neva 29, hi. Good to see you. Sweating my etc. and my whatchamacallits off. You wonder where anything went? Oh boy. But yeah, I have like 6 pouches of purple hair dye that I got on Temu. And I put all the pouches in the same envelope. I can't find it. Somewhere in my room. That means nothing. Dry my hand off. Oh, I want to mention something. Any of you guys like salty, spicy snacks? Ever seen these? They're addictive. Watch it. I love them so much. They're sour and they're hot. And I there's a story behind how I got myself like 3 bags of them. They were, I guess they didn't make the sell by date at a certain store, so the store donated it to another agency, and I saw them and I'm like, oh my god, these things are so good. The flavor is called Dragon Sweet Chili. I don't think they're particularly sweet. They're like, it's like a spicy barbecue kind of thing. It is, let's see, my computer says 72 degrees. I don't believe that. Let me turn on the weather channel. I will tell you. Weather Channel claims it's only 77 degrees here in Atlantic City. Uh, well, maybe if you factor in the ocean breeze and stuff like that. I live a half a block from the ocean. I'm in an air conditioned house apartment rather. I'm on a second floor walk up. Until fairly recently, I didn't open up the screen doors on the front room slash grow room, where basically all my clothes are, since I don't really have closets. That's why I have all these bags of clothes and duffel bags of clothes and boxes of clothes and shoes and jewelry and whatnot, because I don't have things for them. I didn't doesn't make sense to have furniture that you have to worry about storing if you find yourself in between places or if you can't move things. I never wanted to have more possessions or possessions that were so big that they didn't fit in my storages. And I really need to go back west and deal with them. They raise so much in rent through the years. When I opened up the first one, when I was escaping bad boyfriend number one, it was $18 a month. And now for the two of them, it's about $170. That's why I need to go and clean out one, consolidate everything into one. I have to bring a number of things back here. And it seems like I'd be moving things back here only to bring things back to LA anyway, eventually, because, like, say, and I'm going to be shipping things back here, I'm sure. But the thing is, my mother is it's not easy for her to even go down the stairs to get uh, boxes. And say I ship some LP records. It's for two units that are about this wide and go from here, I guess either here down to the ground or here up. So it's about maybe 6 feet wide by 6 feet tall or something like that. But and I have rock and roll memorabilia. I brought most of my clothes back because even though we are a very seasonal climate here in New Jersey, because I create content, and even before I was a content creator, I like to go out dancing and stuff. So I always had use for so-called summer clothes and club clothes. I always had, no matter what the month was, in theory, I had excuses for wearing things. Because even if it's in the middle of winter, if you go to a dance floor and you get real sweaty, you're going to be sweating. So like the shirt, yeah, I bought this on Temu, and it's actually a child shirt, but I love it that it fits me. So many times I get clothes that are very large, but it's good to have all different ways of fit it for a person, because like it's good to have layering pieces. And when I was in Wildwood for the Trump rally, for instance, it ended up getting colder and colder, and I ended up throwing on more and more layers. So it's good to have oversized pieces, but I really like form-fitting things that show that yes, I am petite, I am small. See, now I'm afraid when I turn this, it's going to waste a bunch of blood. Uh, how is this for a pancake turner, or what do you want to call it? Isn't this cute? Add some extra blood. Mariana. I love Worcestershire sauce. That's just such a wonderful seasoning. And since I am English, technically. That's where my heritage is. And matter of fact, I'm not even an immigrant. I'm a colonist. So yesterday was colonist treason day for people like me. How I know any of this is my grandma had our family tree done, and on both sides of our family, but most provable on my mother's side, uh, we came from those early 1600s ships. So, and I still have some relatives in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, even though I am not really in direct touch with them. My mother is a person that keeps in touch with people because a lot of them don't like this guy. And I have traumatized some of my relatives and they don't speak to me. It sucks to be triggered by a little postcard or a picture, huh? I mean, I can get on the dance floor with people with Obama hats. I can get on the dance floor with people wearing a Philadelphia Phillies sweatshirts. It doesn't stress me out. I mean, I'm not offended. I'm not going to take it personally. All right. Now I'm going to let you guys see what this looks like. Got some nice grill marks. Thank you. Oh, I'll have to tell my mother later. You know, I love my mother. You guys know that. You know, I love my mother. She watched the presidential debates. I have been trying to show her the plain as day evidence of the incompetency and mental frailties of our current head commander in chief, and she doesn't see it. And my mother is a very intelligent woman, but she just won't see it. And I know she knows senior moments because she's had a few, I've had a few, but the president is not doing well. And the thing is, in a way, I was kind of cheering on the debate. But then I'm starting to think, well, you know what? If we get rid of him, we have Kamala. She's even worse. And God forbid the feminists get so hot trot for her that all they think of is abortion, which, okay, I care about choice too. That was one of the hard things that I had to overcome when I first turned GOP because I have always been pro-choice, and that's one part of me and the moral standards that I have that will not change. I can't imagine any woman not being in favor of her own personal bodily autonomy. And having had a few scary relationships where I was treated like property and I had to escape from, I can't imagine how it would be to have to protect a child from that environment, or to bring a child into something like that, or if a person is raped, being forced to give birth to that child. I can't see it. But I don't blame Trump for this. And I know you could say, well, he got the Supreme Court justices and stuff. But when I think of all the other things that are at stake, when I think of our porous borders where anybody can sneak through, and we have all these women and girls being brutally tortured, raped, strangled, or otherwise killed. And this is happening more and more. And there are families being ripped apart because of somebody doing a drunk driving thing, killing whole families. And you have people living near the border that they can't, their properties aren't safe because you've got people, if they don't have shotguns all the time, you got people breaking in, stealing their food. The farmers are afraid that their women are going to be attacked. Kids are having to arm themselves to help protect their families, even though I'm sure in Texas that's part of the culture in there. And I think it is important if you have kids to raise them to respect firearms and to know how to clean the gun and take them apart and do all these things, which I'm probably not supposed to talk about on YouTube, even though I'm not demonstrating anything. So I don't think YouTube can mess with me. So YouTube, don't mess with me. Nobody snitch me out, okay? Because I'm just speaking the truth. And I talk about things because I care. Deport them. That's right. Not good, Dan. Hey. That's right. We have priorities. We need our country back. And there are states that still give abortions. And there is an organization called that I forget what its name is, but it's a provider of abortion funds, and it actually helps people in those states go get transported and get. It's kind of like an underground railroad, but it helps people get the medical care that they need. And I support them. I love them. I just am not willing to give any money to things that are going to go turn around and turn into donations for Democratic candidates. I am very afraid of my money being misused. Right now, there's two places I will donate my money. One, of course, is Donald J. Trump, and I've done that, a very small donation. But the other thing is Alley Cat Allies. I support them. They spay and neuter cats. They really do tremendous good in spaying and neutering cats. They take care of the boardwalk cats here in Atlantic City. And not good. Dan, bring on Sharia law. Oh, God. Islam scares me very much. I have a friend who lives in Tehran. He's a very talented musician. He actually graduated from the Tehran Conservatory of Music. He was raised Muslim, but he is either, I'm guessing he's atheist now. He flirted with Christianity, but that was only because he had a music teacher who happened to be Christian. I think she was Syrian or something. And they had underground churches here where people have to be very discreet, and you have to be hiding from the mullahs all the time. And they have these demonstrations for civil rights, for women's rights, for there's so many women that don't want to have to wear the veil, and they lash them and they beat them, and then in prison you get raped. And if they imprison males there at these demonstrations, they rape them too. And they do terrible, terrible things to people, and they kill people. And the Islam, guard, what is it called? I forget what it is, not the Prince's Guard, something. They really, what they do to people. I have firsthand knowledge of this because I have a very dear friend that was in prison for a while, and I hope he can get here. When I think of all the people sneaking across our borders, and we don't know who they are, and I'm not saying they're all bad people. There are some good people. I can understand wanting a better life, but we have laws here. And a country that doesn't have borders and doesn't have laws has lost its sovereignty. We already have so many terrorists here, so many rapists, so many murderers, so many people that were released from prisons in Venezuela and other places. And we are not getting their best. Trump was right when he talked about the people in prisons and the people from mental institutions and all these people being dumped here. And no, just because we're a welcoming country that loves people, this does not mean that everybody has a right to come here. No, name another country on this earth that's welcoming everybody, regardless of. There are places that wouldn't let me because I can't bear children anymore. They only want young people that will, be fruitful, multiply, like in places like Australia or whatever. I don't know. I haven't really researched this. I haven't really thought of wanting to go to another country because I kind of like living here. But I'm thinking if something ever terrible happened, such as the ISIS took over and we had Sharia law and all those things, damn right I would want to get the hell out. But then again, there's also the inclination to want to stay where you're at and make it better rather than just leaving. Like what about all these animals that people leave behind? Would you not maybe think about wanting to stay and take care of them so that they still are fed, so that you still spay and neuter those that aren't? I care very, very deeply for cats. I'm sure. Uh, can't lose track of this. Wish you could smell this. Trump will drain the swamp this time. Yes, it is disgusting how they treat their women. And, because I am open to meeting new people, occasionally I meet people from that part of the world, and sometimes they seem modern and westernized, but eventually if you talk to people long enough, they start getting all male chauvinist on you. And I get talks like, oh, if you were my wife, you couldn't wear the short skirts. And I'm like, whoa, excuse me. I know what it's like to run away from abusive relationships. Okay. I'm so afraid of being controlled. I'm afraid of my finances being controlled. I'm afraid of my body being controlled. I'm afraid of somebody depriving me of religious liberty. I'm afraid of somebody saying that they're so afraid of this that I can't read my tarot cards, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. No, I am a little bit on the suspicious side, and I don't want people to hurt my mother. I don't want people to hurt my cat. I don't want people to just, nobody wants their vulnerabilities exploited. And things have already happened in my past where people did things and got away with things. And maybe if I got a shitload of money, maybe I could go back to that legal thing against uh, certain people that did really, really, really terrible things to me. But right now, I have to think of some immediate uh, priorities I have. My mother, obviously, medical care for Garfield. I need to find out what the scabs are on his skin. If in fact there's a chance that he may yet have fleas, even though I haven't seen any fleas on him. But with all the subjects that I ever covered on this channel, one thing that I really, really, really love and find exciting is politics. And that's the subject that's gotten me in trouble. When I did those live streams where I would model myself over the people on Fox News Channel, and I would talk about different news items and things that were interesting to me, like marijuana, obviously, guns, obviously, civil rights for those of us that are underrepresented now because you have certain politically correct factions that are basically committing racism on us. I like to talk about the effects of um, oh, now I'm having my own little senior moment. This affected my father when he was trying to get a civil service test. Affirmative action where people that are less qualified, but they want to give certain racial and ethnic quotas. So more qualified people don't get the jobs because they want to make sure that enough of all these different groups are represented. My father lost work when that was going on in the 70s. So this is like, I think I may need to take these off. But then I can put this other one on. Maybe I should bring this closer to you so you can see it real good. Okay, how like that. This is balanced on the toaster oven now. Okay. It's just what I wanted. A cross between medium and well done. The new one on. And just for the heck of it all, see this, I can feel there's a certain give. I don't do a lot of steaks, honestly. You know, and I don't think I've ever done it outside. And I don't feel comfortable with gas. I really don't care for it. I don't care for propane. I don't like the smell of it when it leaks. We have some propane fueled vehicles that used to go up and down the boardwalk. The original tram cars ran on propane, and they always have that gas leak smell behind them. And I find that very obnoxious. I'm going to do one more minute. Oops. Okay. Okay. Now, they always say you got to let your meat rest for about 3 minutes so the juices don't run out and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let that rest some. And my mom said that she wanted baked beans. Of course, she's also going to need a container to put them in. And I've had some baked on stuff on some of my dishes. Really hard to clean. And this pot has been soaking for weeks. Hey, smoke that weed yet. Come on. See, this has been, I used this to do some pan frying. And I guess I'm going to have this again. I would really like to have a dishwasher and washer and dryer for clothes. Even though I don't, well, most of my clothes I would probably continue to drip dry because it's better for fabrics than drying. And but boy, it would be nice to have them. Last time I got a friend, and I use that term loosely, to use his family's washer and dryer to wash some laundry of mine. For some reason, it came out smelling foul. It's like, why would your clothes stink after being washed? I don't understand that, and I never want to seem ungrateful, but even he said it smelled bad. I was really pissed off. Not everything was smelling, but a few things did, and so that means you're only going to need to be rewashed. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go to a laundromat and spend $10 for a small load of clothes. And the laundromats around here, most of the people who go to them don't speak English. The places themselves smell. I probably want to spend money on one of those things that cleans out the thing and makes it smell nice before I actually wash things out, and that would double the cost of my cleaning. And so for years, I've been the Chinese nuggets. Oh, I didn't even look at the time when I started this. I'm just looking at a giant bus. It's painted with the FanDuel logo and it's purple bus. It's like a big tour bus. See, now something like that, you could really make a house out of. But can you imagine driving and parking something like that? Size of like a Greyhound bus? That that would hold my clothes at least. But I can't imagine what it's like to drive a fairly big vehicle. I've only driven sports cars. That's my experience. My hand's wet. I don't want to. Ah, too. Okay. Now, Mom wants baked beans, and we have baked beans. Oh, oh, here two different brands. One's Van Camp's pork and beans, and the other is Southgate pork and beans. And this is a lot cheaper, but some of these are bad though. And it says the ingredients: water, beans, sugar, modified fruit starch, pork, tomato paste, salt, vinegar, spices. Don't you like that vague spices? Won't say what they are, it just says spices. This says prepared white beans, water, prepared white beans. And prepared white beans is water, white beans. Water, tomato puree, and tomato puree is water and tomato paste. Sugar, less than 2% of high fructose corn syrup. Salt, distilled vinegar, baking soda, pork, onion powder, spice, natural and artificial flavors, adds a trivial amount of cholesterol. Mhm. So you see, this admits to having onion powder. And baking soda, some people soak beans in baking soda. And one of the benefits allegedly is they make you less flatulent. But the downside is you don't absorb as many of the nutrients. And I think it's really important to get all the nutrients you can out of your food. Let me take a look. Okay, Mom doesn't think we're going to need two cans, so now what are we going to do about Kamala? I mean, she's scary. And you heard the gossip about her, right? About how she even got to where she is. First of all, as a district attorney, she was responsible for so many people going to jail for weed. And then she goes and laughs, talking to different people like Charlemagne the God, laughing about how much she likes weed and stuff. Yeah, go ahead and talk about how you're smoking weed while you're putting brothers and sisters in jail for smoking weed. Yeah, that's not very nice. But so there's a lot of talk about how she got where she was by well, I want something clean. You get my drift here. With a man called Willie Brown. The name doesn't sound familiar. He, for a while, was mayor of San Francisco. I lived in San Francisco for a while. Willie Brown, after he was a mayor, he also became not a councilman, not an assemblyman. I forget what his other thing he did in the state of California. And that's how she and he met and did whatever. And now you could see that she is a big shot now, and she's the VP and stuff. She's got herself a nice husband and all that stuff. Now, I like Kamala's husband better than I like Kamala, but she scares me. But what scares me, or her incompetence scares me. She was a border czar. She did nothing for the border. But oh, Mayorkas. I mean, if I had to choose between her as president and Mayorkas, I'd rather have her, because Mayorkas is terrifying and the most inept idiot. Oh, come on, let everybody in, let everybody in. Lying to the American public, letting everybody in while people have to worry about their sons and daughters getting mowed down by drunk drivers and their women and girls getting raped because you don't know who the hell's here. You got to worry about, look what happened in Israel, October 7th. We got to worry about something like that happening here. And the people that want to do this, they're already here. But just all invite them all in. I don't know who you are, but come on in. You guys all lock your doors, right? I don't know if you lock your windows, you lock your doors. Because God forbid somebody sneak in. What if they give you a sob story? Oh, let me stay, let me stay. Are you going to feel sorry for somebody that you don't vet, have no knowledge about? Some guy, especially a military age male, not like he has a little baby and a wife that he's trying to protect or something. Meanwhile, your door's unlocked. Can he stay in anyway? I don't think too many people are doing that. You have a right to feel safe in your home. And if you don't have control over your whole space, you still have right to be safe on your person and not have to worry about somebody who you don't know or who you do know who's going to hurt you. Nobody wants that. Not 21, don't look at what I'm doing. I'm a grown up. And one of the privileges of being a grown up is you can do some things that you're supposed to be grown up to do. And I am grateful to live in a state that is seeing that not only medical card people, but the general adult population would like to be able to smoke some marijuana. And we need to get it legal on the federal level so that people don't have to worry about when you're visiting your friends and your relatives all up and down this big, beautiful country of ours. You don't want to worry about getting caught someplace where they don't like the way your vehicle smells like weed. And I'm going to be having this school bus that's going to look normal on the outside, but it's going to look hippied out on the inside. I'm thinking I might go the all purple route. There's a store called the Purple Store. Everything is purple. And they make washers and dryers and stoves and all kinds of things that are purple. Now, I was thinking, those robotic cat boxes? If they would invent one that was see through, and then you could put pretty litter in it so that you could see the business that the cat does before they clean it, and you can get the benefits of the colored litter that shows the pH of his urine. And meanwhile, it cleans the shit so you don't have to, because you don't have running water unless you have the special tube and plumbing set up. And can you imagine keeping things sanitary when you're dealing with cat waste? So if you have a machine and say it's run by solar energy, now see, that's what I could get behind. But I don't want an electric bus, though, because it's not good to have electric batteries. They're saying that if you have electric cars, you shouldn't have it in a garage in your home because the batteries can catch fire. So for that reason, I would rather just have gas engine. But I was advised not to do diesel. Did you know that diesel, the fuel can turn solid when it gets really cold? And I want to be open to traveling any climates I want. There might be times I might want to be in Colorado when it's snow and people are skiing and stuff. And in that case, I'm going to have to be concerned about freezing temperatures on things. It's going to probably take me at least a year and a half. People's working on it for me to get it the way I want it. And I need room. You see, I want to allow for enough room that I can turn around and do the head to toe thing. I can have my YouTube studio in. I want to have mini Marshalls or even maybe full-size Marshall stacks for my musical instruments. I want to be able to play and have other people play inside there. I want to have a bookshelf. I need closet space. And that's why I can't have a minibus or a jitney or try van life. I have a lot of clothes. I like clothes. And I always get told by people that are living a nomadic lifestyle, they always tell me, but you got to downsize. I get these guys, even these local guys, some are pretty cool people, but they try to tell me what I need and what is not possible. Don't tell me what's not possible. I have a lot of clothes and I don't want to. I can see tearing down some things. Okay, my battery saver thing is going. I need to plug this in. But I'm going to. Okay, there. Unplugged in. Gotta watch this here. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. Let's fly. Go. This is dirt that I heard from a dispensary. I mean, it's not dirt, it just tastes like dirt. There is, I really haven't been inside the dispensaries here because they're very, very strict with your papers, your documentation. Gotta give them a DNA sample and promise your firstborn son and possibly give them permission to clone you from your hair cells. I'm just joking. But no, it's really, you think I would be impacting public safety somehow. Well, I'm going to make sure this is actually charging. I find just the wiring in this house is, oh, okay, it does say plugged in. The wiring in this house, for some reason, not all the outlets really work well. You have to get a little friction before it realizes, yes, something's plugged in. and something's charging. There have been times when I thought I had this plugged in and the battery totally went dead because it wasn't charging. So, and I thought that there was something wrong with the computer. It's just the wiring in this house is old. Plus, with the mice, you never know about what mice might be possibly doing in the walls. And the thing is, I am the most mouse friendly of all the people that live here. I actually like the little characters. I don't like the damage they do. I don't like it when I wash and drip dry my clothes and I have them in plastic bags in my front grow room. And all of a sudden, mice have gotten in and you see the little black shits on top. And you can, and the urine has a smell to it. And I have to wash it all over again. That's no fun. Oh, speaking of wee-weeing on clothes, Garfield didn't affect too many of my clothes. When he got on my bed the other day, he only urinated on like 6 or 7 things. A dress, some socks, and some stockings, and that's it. Oh, and one file folder that actually had those Trump iron-ons, but they were sealed in plastic, so nothing got damaged. So, and all the clothes, I washed them, and the last of them are dripping dry. But still, I don't want kitty paws on my bed. I just, where cat paws go, just like where I wouldn't want the soles of my shoes on my bed. That said, I got to do something about this closet issue. But I can't. I'm afraid to hang too many more things because the poles are made of wood and they're sagging. And what happens when they snap? That's a whole bunch of clothes that fall on. I showed you this before. This has a stone for all the chakras, and it's got amethyst on the top. It has a series of semi-precious stones in it. And this is either quartz or this may be probably sea glass. It's very smooth and sandy. It's still soft. I better bring a fly swatter. I like bash. I'm still a germaphobe. Got a few more crumbs. I mean, they are crumbs, but little something. Yeah, the stuff, it just smell and taste doesn't always indicate things about weed. I've had weed tasted and smelled bad. Okay, there's something that says drivers and updates. Important updates are available for your PC. Okay, now I'm clicking on something. I hope you can see me. This is showing, it's loading Dell Support Assist. Oh, and it says you have 21 days left in your hardware service contract. That means I'm still under one of my warranties. Then maybe they could tell me what the heck is up with the wires in my internal mic. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm pressing to install a software update. I hope it doesn't shut this off. It'll probably tell me that I'm going to have to do a reboot to really install it, and I'll just wait to do that until after the stream's over. So, I'm still talking to you guys. And I'm talking to you guys, but still, I don't want to be lax with my drivers and stuff because sometimes when I have tech problems, people ask me if I have all my drivers and things, and I really should do all the updates that I'm supposed to. But that said, this computer shuts down like 10 times a day. And it's a good thing I know what to do when it happens. It says once everything's installed, you'll be prompted to restart your computer. Well, they can prompt me, but I'm just not going to restart it for a couple hours. I wish you could smell that. You know what? My mom. Okay, I'm going to press the no. I'll restart it later. Hey, it's good to know that. Oh, how would you rate your experience using support assist? I will give it 5 stars. And okay, I'm glad my opinion really counts. Now can I get back to my live stream? Thank you very much, Del. So maybe I should call them if I have 15 days left and find out if my sound issues that I've been having are covered under this hardware thing. Because I told you this computer is less than a year old. It's got to be like around 6 months old or something. I got a deal on it, but I thought for sure if I had 16 gigabytes RAM and I had a 1 terabyte hard drive, the only thing that it didn't have on it, the feature that I wanted, it didn't have a backlink, but it was $100 cheaper than the original model I wanted. So if the concession I make, it was a half an inch smaller in diameter. So instead of getting 17 inches, I got 16 and a half. I'm going to put this back in the fridge. I miss so it doesn't leave. This is turn it on room temperature. Oh, want to see something kind of sinful? This is pumpkin pie. These are small pies. I had two. Good. Especially when it's chill. Just ashtray as a rolling tray or something like of that nature. I like to use either a guitar pick or a flexible piece of paper or something. Is a scoop. And I scoop the weed and then I put it in the bowl. Make sure the ashes are out. This is actually a tiny little bomb, but I find that it's very hard to take draws on it without swallowing a bunch of bomb water. That's not very pleasant. Bomb water can get germy. You really shouldn't hold on to that. They say you shouldn't even use it to fertilize your plants with it. See, I always thought that at least it could be used like that, but no, apparently not. Oh, want to know why these shoes are hanging on a bowling pin? These were the shoes that I wore to the Trump rally. I deliberately wore these shoes because I got sand accidentally and two other pairs of my shoes. And at the time, they were saying the rally was going to be at the Wildwood Convention Center, which is a physical building. But if I had known that it was going to be on the beach, which really was the most practical place for it, considering how many of us there were, when you're on the beach, you're going to get sand in your shoes. And so if I could have done it over again, I would have just gone ahead and worn beach shoes. This is smelling good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Gonna be eating some Trump-tastic steaks real soon. I don't want it to blow out the pilot light. Gotta be careful with the direction fans. This is the third time I've worn this, so this has a rubber iron-on on it, the kind, and these are really fragile. So it's good to wear them more than once before washing them so that the stuff doesn't peel off. I love how it fits, and I love the graphic on it. And plus, one-sided shirts are a little bit safer than two-sided shirts, because two-sided shirts, you've got a tartar on your back too. And as somebody that's been pushed when I wore Trump shirts in clubs and stuff, and you get people push you in the back and stuff. So then again, if you're going to a country event, that's not a problem. With the rock and roll events, I never know where it's friendly and safe or not. But I hate to not express myself politically, only to find out other people are doing it. And I'm thinking, it would be like going to Washington, D.C. and not wearing American flag stuff and not wearing stuff for your political candidate and stuff. It's like that is our nation's capital. That is the place to espouse whatever your causes are. If it's a national thing, if it's an international thing, that's where people, whenever I go there to visit my friends or to go to some kind of event there, there's always other things. Like there was a pro-Iraqi people demonstration there in Lafayette Park, and I knew very little about their culture and their political struggles. And you get to learn about what they're going through, learn from former political prisoners, people who have loved ones over there, people who escaped the bad things from those cultures, and you get educated. And they get to talk about things that they would get whipped in the streets if they did it in their native country, but they're doing it here, and they know this is a safe place to do it. And that's one of the beautiful things about Washington, D.C. But of course, when I was frequenting there, they weren't having people tearing down statues and defacing monuments and all this despicable stuff. There's a lot of things. Say I came across a monument that I disapproved of or something, I wouldn't deface it. It's history. By trying to erase it doesn't change it. But there's some people that are trying to edit versions of historic facts, and it reminds me of books by Aldous Huxley, like Brave New World. It reminds me that there's books with concepts of alliances changing and reversing, and the person who you're enemies with now and the person you're friends with, everything gets reversed. But I mean, sometimes it does happen in real life. Like for a while after Japan attacked us at Pearl Harbor, obviously we were enemies. After the nuclear bomb was dropped, then they admitted defeat, and they no longer were part of that axis of evil, which of course included Hitler and Stalin and all those groups of the time. But now we are on good relations with all those people. Germany is not East Germany, West Germany. Germany is a united Germany. And they seem, for all intents and purposes, very repulsed by and against their past with respect to Nazi Party and all those atrocities. So I commend Germany for that. Germany, like other European countries, is trying to be kind and warm towards all these this immigration that is seeing, like the United States is seeing, negative effects. This rampant, not always, but often illegal immigration in these cultures that do jive with the natural cultures and the people that are indigenous to that area. And you guys see that the women are being raped and that they're building a whole shitload of mosques and they're burning churches and they're doing all kinds of things, changing the makeup of those areas. It's like the people in Ireland and people come there and then they complain there's too many Irish in Ireland. Oh, hello, you chose to come there and now you're complaining and you're, oh, there's too many Catholic churches. Oh, there's too much beer. Oh, there's too much redheaded women. Oh my goodness, well, you chose to come to Ireland. What do you expect? Look at England now. Look how diverse it is. It's amazing. Even though now, I gotta say, it's probably it has. Oh, I can only say probably because I've never been there, and I shouldn't talk about places I've never been. But you've got to argue that all the exciting exotic immigration that is in England now is vastly improved the cuisine that's available. Look at all the Indian food you can get. And it's like, oh man, I have a weakness for food. Oh, I better turn this a little bit. This isn't real strong, so I'm not gonna just smoke it up. I think I gotta turn this thing. We need that juice. I think I left that side on a bit too long. But hey, didn't I tell you? Oops, I'm gonna have to unplug this for a bit. This is what this one looks like. So this is gonna be well done. Now let's see how long you were supposed to leave it on after you. I'm gonna look at the cooking chart. Oh, okay. You know what? I didn't really read this all the way, but I did similar cooking time on the second side. It's usually on the average slightly less than the cooking time from the first side. Since that is so well done on the one side, I think I'll err on caution and do a little less on the second side because I don't want the cats. are great because they don't have a dial that you can change the heat on there. So, and the less moving parts you have, the less things to break. Things that just plug in and unplug are the best. These remind me of the original popcorn poppers, like my mom had. She used them as double boilers when she had housing, dormitory housing, where they weren't allowed to have any electrical appliances because you lived in a rickety fourth floor walk up wooden structure. They had these buildings in Atlantic City where college students, and they had the gender segregated. The girls were in the upper floors, and there was a lady that ran the place that actually lived there, so nothing could get past her. And the guys were downstairs, and the guys couldn't come upstairs. And after a while, doorbell could be rung, but people weren't allowed there past 11 o'clock. So there was no way that a guy could visit a girl and be let up or anything like that. They made exceptions if the girl had a job or something, but they were real strict with, I guess, protecting people's virtue in the early 60s. Well, Garfield's still on my mom's floor. Hey, Joe. Oh, look at the steak. Look at, you know how you leave it resting? It's been resting. I have one more on the grill. Trump-tastic steaks, just with Worcestershire sauce. And of course, I had my appetizer. And I'm going to make some baked beans. And let me see who's not going to be entering. See, all this says is Mount Holly, New Jersey. I don't recognize it. My mom's going to go in there and she's probably going to block them. So my room because it could be ringing anytime from the morning on, and I don't want to be disturbed by that. And it's so rarely ever for me. You know, it's easier for me to be contacted on social media or something. But I've been having people yell up my window or ring a doorbell. And for the record, I hate it when you do that if I am just taking my makeup off and I'm ready to go to bed and I need to fucking sleep. And it's like, oh no, man, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. I turned down a meeting with Jesus Christ if I was that tired. You know, I think I really hurt somebody's feelings last week because they showed up right when I was like, I've been up almost 48 hours. You gotta understand when you're up, it's one thing if you're still doing drugs and you're up 48 hours or more. You know, it's nothing. It's fun. Even, drinking a lot of caffeine can be fun. But if you're just up because you have been busy working around doing housework stuff, and as a content creator, you have to wait for certain times that are convenient to make your content. And sometimes that means staying up to the wee hours because you have to wait for the right conditions or you have to wait for the person. Or maybe I can't access my cat and I want to have my cat so I can do my video with my cat. You have to have all the props together. You have to have the information together. You have to have the clothes together. Sometimes it's a matter of physical comfort. Sometimes I'm just so hot and sweaty, and the whole idea of putting a bunch of clothes in my body and putting all this fancy stuff on and doing that, and then the lights that I use in my room, they add to the heat. And if I'm afraid of how quiet I am, so I turn the fans off so that you can hear me, then it's just all this close sticking to me. And then if I do have the fan on, sometimes it blows dirt around on and I just feel dirty and I can't wait to take a shower. And sometimes, depending on who's here, I just can't run in the shower anytime I want. And that just pisses me. See. You know what? I'm gonna pull the plug on this now. So I'm gonna let this sit. Matter of fact, I can move this Well, I guess first we heat switch it. There's no way to be totally off it because you. Oh, so I got to get the can opener out. Open. I'm not going to do the fan cans. I'm going to do the generic. So they're every bit as good. And plus, you still sometimes doctor them up anyway. With Southgate working beam. I like. I could overdose on beans, which I don't recommend. But they're good for you. But just be aware of how your body reacts. You see what it looks like. Right. Oh, no liquid. Mm, good. Pie away from that. I'm going to put the pie back in the fridge. They're really best when they're cold. I see if I knew he was going to go out for a couple hours, then I would have actually scheduled to do a quick bleach my hair thing. But the thing is, without editing, I don't think it really lends much to, okay, I'm going to do this thing. And what? I'm going to do live stream and make a video. I've already done videos with them and I've done live streams with them. And one time, last time, I think I did bleaching my hair in a live stream. The fumes got to me and I had to lay down and get some fresh air and do it again in the morning. It was oh good. So it's to fire you up to barbecue. I love Worcestershire sauce. Now, what I was thinking, a lot of times my beans, a lot of times I'll add a little bit of mustard and a little bit of barbecue sauce of some kind, or maybe brown sugar. But when I saw that this already has high fructose corn syrup and white sugar in it, I don't want to add any more sweet to it. Now, if I had some sweet relish, I would add a little bit of that to it. I think that would be good. Don't like to go too sour. A lot of things are just too sour. I don't know why that is. And I'm thinking, I guess maybe you could cut a few pieces of raw carrot or one or two and simmer that in there. And maybe they'll take some of the sour away, just like some people used to, instead of putting sugar in a tomato sauce, when they cook down tomatoes for hours to make a homemade sauce. Sometimes because tomatoes, if you cook them for a while, they can get bitter and acidic. If you put a little bit of carrot, then you don't have to add sugar to it. And that's what I heard from some Italian friends. I heard that from a number of Italian people who love to cook. Even bad boyfriend number one, he was Sicilian Italian, and he used to add oil to sauce. Now, if it was extra virgin olive oil, I could see it, but I think it may have been just any oil. See, people gotta understand it, and if it's anybody I know, why would you call me live stream? Of course, there's sometimes people don't know they're live stuff, and I'm not going to be upset with you if you didn't know. Sometimes I think maybe it'd be cool to have one of those lights, it's a neon light. It's like on air in studio, and I can hang it in my window. But then again, that would be attracting attention, so people would be looking up here, and I just know I don't think that would be a good idea. But it would be nice if I could have a way to let specific people know that I'm filming right now, or uh, I am live and can't be interrupted, or maybe there may be a circumstance where I have arranged for somebody that is a time that, yes, I do want you to interrupt me because I'm going to be streaming and I'm going to want to talk to you or have this be part of the subject matter or something. I have allowed things going on in real life to affect my live streams. Look at all the times when I'm going live when the churches are bouncing downstairs and getting really aggro. I actually take advantage of that and use that as part of my ambiance. Something that you might as well work with for things that you dealt with. You know. Okay, some of this is ready. I'm so sick and tired of these protesters. And I don't understand how they're able to get away with this stuff. And you get these idiotic district attorneys that do not prosecute them. You're trespassing? What about that janitor that was kept from leaving? That is kidnapping. You're detaining somebody and you're not a cop and they are not free to go. They don't feel safe. That is that's called kidnapping. That's also called it's a bunch of things. Unconsensual detaining. Just a whole bunch of things. It's creepy if you have an ex trying to do that. Or just, it's just creepy. I'm going to use this bowl for the baked beans. This doesn't seem like very much, but I want some too. And this is what they look like without being doctored up. It's good to try things the way they are before doing things. If I could get to town and do a whole bunch of things, I got brown sugar, for instance, but I use my brown sugar a lot of times to sweeten my coffee. I can't have no sweeteners for my coffee. I can't, my mother drinks her coffee totally black with nothing in it. I drink my coffee black, but I have to have a sweetener sometime. Sweet and low is fine. White sugar is fine. I love brown sugar. Low sugar and raw, I love them. Stevia, though, I don't like. I've tried so many different kinds of it. It's just bitter to me. I don't understand how people can think that it's a sweetener. It makes no sense. But let me get this and a spoon gives me another. I told you I really don't like the feel and the taste of metal in my mouth, so I actually prefer plastic or wooden cutlery. I'm not giving this to her to hold because in order to hold it, you have to use a knife, and that might be uncomfortable for her to hold. I love these though. When they were giving out kiwis on the boardwalk a couple of years ago, this is what they handed out. That was when the boardwalk was still fun to hang out there. You know, the cops were letting people play their musical instruments. It seems to me that if I was out playing my guitar because of the sun and everything, and because of the restrictions on where they let you play, I would not be playing very frequently. But especially if I was forced to be in the area in the sun, in the area inconvenient to me because it's so far away. So as a result, I'm not getting full use of the license that you're paying $300 and something for. So it seems to me that a person should have a serious discount based on how much time they could use that. But I mean, can't be in the sun with my white skin. I can't. Want to see? Yeah, got this. I'm gonna give her this before I give her a steak. Mom, you hungry? Yes. Could you do me a favor, please? That postal thing. Can you take that away so that I don't get anything on it? This is the baked beans. I don't know if I need these. And are you ready for your steak? Uh, oh, my office ready for steak. Oh, you think it any? Oh, and the third one on one side is well done. But as a result, I didn't cook this other side as long. But this is a learning thing because I told everybody that I am not exactly someone who's habituated to grilling. The last time I grilled using this thing was a good 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm glad that you showed me that steak chart. But now the other one I put in the fridge. So we have, but there's a tray underneath it, so we don't have to worry about blood and all that. Okay. So, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. Garfield, you want to see a cat? Oh, Garfield, say hi, Garfield, Garfield, come on, do something. Garfield, come on, look at the camera. Come on. Garfield, I'm not setting this down here. Garfield, come on. Don't sniff my thumb. Oh, oh, squat. Didn't think I was getting a workout, cat. Garfield. Oh, yes, if I. Oh, now here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, good boy. Oh, now where are you going? Garfield. Oh, okay. Maybe you have to go to the bathroom. Garfield. Garfield. Oh, I am sweating. I am sweating so much. I'm so hot. Hot, hot, hot. Oh, it's unplugged, so it's just sitting here. Oh, oh boy. Oh, oh, okay. I can use the lid from the pie thing for this blood. I could just put this straight in the refrigerator. It really doesn't need to sit down. You know what? I better be careful with this because I don't want the mice to get on this. You imagine me leaving this on the stove and the mice live literally in the stove. I don't use the oven. I don't want to cook them to death. Before I give my mother, before I give my mother the steak, I got to give her a decent fork. Plastic fork won't cut it. See, we're not eating out in a restaurant. We don't have to impress anybody. I would just take a fork, put it in my mouth, and go eat it. But obviously, I wouldn't do that in a public place. I'm just saying, why do you have to go through all that stuff? And the plastic forks, the plastic knives, they say you really should never use them because the little plastic tines, they break off and you eat that. We have microplastics as it is. I don't want to be eating that. So but the only knife we really have, they're not steak knives. It's actually see, this is good for my mother's cheese. I don't like cheese. I hate cheese, but it cuts it. And we had I'd like to know what happened to our steak knives. A lot of things just got legs and walked away. I'm gonna put ABC World News Tonight on in the other room. Did you know George Stephanopoulos is interviewing Biden today? And I wonder what kind of speed concoction Biden's going to be on to appear lucid and not like he has the issues that we are certain he does. I mean, the thing is, that he's not like he's going into a snake den. He is going into a friendly interview. Okay, she's getting steak knives from him. As soon as he gets out of there, I'm going to get the knives. Then I'm going to bring you in to get her steak. I don't know what else she's going to want. I will offer her Worcestershire sauce. We would be using ground pepper also, but oh, you know what I didn't think about? Butter. Butter would be wonderful. Oh, yay! You just cut my steak off. Can you cut it up? It's cut mine up. Oh, okay. I can do that. Oh, oh. Biden says he's staying in the race. Oh, you don't want butter on yours. Okay, so you want me to cut, do you want strips or cubes? Okay, all right, all right. You don't want butter on yours, okay. I had forgotten about that. I have never cut up somebody's steak before. You know what? I think it's cool. I never understood why the protocol of you're in a fancy place and you're only supposed to cut off a little at a time, and then you eat it, and then you cut off a little at a time, and then you eat it, and all that time you're making clattering sounds with your knife, and you have to do all this stuff. Whereas if you just cut off a bunch ahead of time, and then you can enjoy it. I don't get that. And yet, I was raised that there's a certain protocol when you're eating out, just like a proper place setting, and the difference between one fork and another, and a salad fork that I believe is a lot longer. So uh, I hadn't quite counted on this. Be honest with you, but you know what? Wait, you don't want to turn them upside down. It means something different. Oh, I should ask you how well done she was. I asked her what doneness she wanted. She said, whatever you give me is fine. What I'll do is I'll cut her some of each. That way she gets to see what they're all like. And since she doesn't seem to mind charring, I like her. Oh, boy. All right. Uh, oh, forgot me. The poor. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do some of this. I'm gonna do some of the other one. Give you better. Oh, all right. Two little pieces of cat food for Garfield now. Uh, wow. Okay. I want you to see what these look like. And I guess you can tell the well done ones versus the. They're kind of cold now. Hoping the tarantulas will make it hard for any flies to touch those. You know, I forgot. I have to wash my hand because I want to bring it in to show you. What's wrong with me? Oh, you haven't seen your face. And she tell me you think of it. You like it? Show them your face. Say hello. Thank you. And that's just if you want anything else. That just had I marinated it with Worcestershire sauce. She wants me to share one with him. You saw how small these things are. Yeah. Would you cook food for somebody who hated your guts? Come on. Why dirty a dish? Just a little bit of this love. Just don't. This can use some hot pepper. I gotta lean these jalapeno peppers on something. Might as well lean it on against the steaks. cold. I just put them in a little oven, 300-degree oven, which I know is going to cook them a wee little bit more, but they're cold. I don't want to go through all that for a piece of cold steak. Meat stock. I don't know where the damn salt is. How hard can it be to find salt? The only salt shaker in the house. This makes no sense. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, just a few chunks of hot pepper. And hot pepper kind of soaked a bit on that steak. Burn yourself on beans. They're too hot. Okay, she cleaned, ate her plate. She enjoyed her beans. She said they were tasty. And I didn't offer her any salt. Well, she watches her salt intake. She really does. Uh, I think I'm going to definitely end this before the interview because I want to check it out. I'm curious. I just hope they don't make Biden seem so sane and so normal so that everybody thinks he's okay and stuff. Well, what I want is for Trump to win and be our president, okay? That's what I want. And I also want people that were caught in Washington, D.C., who didn't do anything wrong. All they were guilty of was being in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. I want them all out of any detention that they're in and anything they were charged with to be expunged because going to hang out and go someplace where you're invited is not trespassing and is not a crime. Um, they have so much evidence that the worst offenses were committed by people who were actually bused in and they were actually Antifa and BLM types that threw on some MAGA gear and make us look bad. So, as soon as I smell a little bit of meat, I know that's ready. I'll get to have some warm steak. Mm. This jalapeno is not very spicy. I was very, very, very sparing with it because sometimes with hot peppers, a little goes a long way, and I just want a tiny, tiny little bit. But now I know this is not too high on the Scoville level. You know how hot they say peppers are. And there's a lot of antioxidants in peppers, so they say you should eat the rainbow. So if you can tolerate the spicy food, definitely you get all these antioxidants and you get vitamin C and you got all kinds of other things. And capsaicin can be a natural painkiller. And there's all these health benefits of fresh fruits and vegetables. So I just have to remember that I was handling hot peppers very-handed. So I have to be careful of accidentally touching my eyes. Okay, you know what I'll add to the beans? A little tiny bit of turmeric. Just a little tiny bit. Again, for the health benefits. Also, the bitterness of turmeric will help to counter with the sweetness of these beans. I want to get a little decadent. You know what? I'm probably gonna cut some bunch at a time because that is easier to eat. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and eat all in front of you. So I'll taste it and then I'll end this and I'll actually eat a meal. I should have some greens though. I'm thinking maybe open up a can of collard greens. Is they're good. You can do so much with them. And collard greens, just like turnip greens, are considered a superfood. They have antioxidants and vitamin K and vitamin C, um, all kinds of things that are so good for us, and we don't eat enough of. People are spending so much money on all these supplements that have all the dehydrated vegetables and stuff like Balance of Nature. If I had shitloads of money to throw around, I would definitely get that. But it's what, $40 a month or something? And it may have a lot of benefits and stuff, but still, if you can get what you need from your diet, that would be the most ideal thing. Oh, you know what? It's not plugged in. Mhm. Wondering why the thing looked really. Okay, now we're going to try this all. All right. At least I get to enjoy these beans. And now you can see what the turmeric did. It gave them a real, almost radioactive look. Turmeric really is a deep gold dye, and it's supposed to have cancer preventative qualities. It's supposed to be good for lung issues, and it's supposed to be good for all these things. That said, I was cooking with it when my father got diagnosed with lung cancer, and my father didn't really like when I got too adventurous with the Middle Eastern and the Indian cooking and stuff. He was more of a meat and potatoes guy, and I was trying to. Uh, I figured the ground turmeric. They say the more you pulverize some of these spices, the more the you can get from almost a molecular level the benefits of the herbs and things like turmeric with its curcumin. But when you're cooking with it, it's not possible to get the doses that would be medicinally effective. And if you use the amount that would be medicinally effective, it would really render the food inedible. It would be so bitter, nobody would want to eat it. And there are times when I would cook rice and lentil dishes for my father, and he would basically think that it was like slop that you would feed pigs or something. So it was just, and it was nutritious, but also it was it was hard for him to chew things. I was trying to, give him things that were easy to feed. I was actually feeding my father one point. Now that this is plugged in, I was wondering why I wasn't smelling any steak. And then I touch the thing and it's like cold. Oh, that was a hot piece of pepper. So what these are, just says beef tenderloin steak. Then it says in parentheses, filet mignon, butcher's cut. Mm. I'm not going to grab Garfield now. I don't want to get his hair airborne in my meat. Not very much tea. I want to make some more. Sometimes one of the things I like about having a teapot on all day with an electric coffee maker or a hot pot is that the tea will get a little darker throughout the day because the leaves continue to brew. And you can add more water to the tea. And so you can keep it going. I discovered that you can take a tea bag. Most people get one bag, a cup, maybe two, they save it. But you can just keep it in the water longer, dunk it a lot, and you can get so much more than a couple cups out of a little bit of tea. Um, if you live with people that don't need a real strong cup all the time, maybe they're watching their caffeine intake. Maybe they're concerned about the tannic acid that's in a strong cup of tea and they don't want to get an upset stomach. Not everybody can tolerate tea on an empty stomach. But when it's a bit weaker, when you make it this way, it's easier for people with more sensitive stomachs to tolerate. So, and it's another way to have a person be hydrated. And, I don't need to mention how important that is, especially with we're in summer. And they say if you look at senior citizens, they can't regulate their body temperature as easily as other people. So you need to be especially on the lookout for signs of dehydration in them. So if tea will help to encourage somebody to drink more liquids, that's a good thing. Now, I'm glad I keep those bottles of lemon juice on hand. So just a little bit goes a long way to flavor iced or hot tea. You can make lemonade with them. I noticed though, when you make lemonade, for some reason, if I use an artificial sweetener, it just doesn't taste anywhere near as good as if I'm using real sugar. And that's a shame because the calories of sugar and what it when it gets metabolized by the body, which if you're not careful, people can turn into prediabetes and even get diabetes if they eat much bread, starches, and sugars, of course. But sugar seems to be metabolized, goes so quickly to fat, it doesn't get necessarily burned off. And you would think that it would, it'd give you a temporary energy. Your blood sugar will spike, and then it'll come crashing down. It's surely good for you, but there's something about our baked goods. They must be addictive because it's something, a combination of the salt and the fat and the sweet, and or in case of the breads, the savory. But there's something about them that if you like them, I always looked on people who've gone low carb who totally given up bread, or they'll say they'll get pho in a Vietnamese restaurant, and they will basically pick all the pasta out. Well, okay, give that to somebody else so it doesn't go to waste. But just I don't know. I can't imagine a life without really good bread or fried rice. Oh my goodness, or sushi. You know, but I wouldn't mind starting some fat and some weight loss to make up for the 20 pounds I've probably put on since last year. But the thing is, that was because of introducing a lot of junk to my diet. That was a combination of that and not working out like I was, or at least walking and doing the different basic exercise that you can get. I think diet can really affect things more than we realize. And if all of a sudden you have a source of free cookies and cakes and stuff, and you get all these things that you wouldn't normally get because you certainly wouldn't spend the money on them. And I mean, we really don't have any excuses because the nutritional information labels are on these products. You see right away how many calories it is for one slice, what a suggested uh, portion is, what the calorie count is for the whole thing. It tells you how much fat, saturated fat, sugar, all that stuff that we should be aware of to make educated choices. But that said, don't they all taste so good? And again, you're wondering if there's something about these combinations of fats and sugars and starches and maybe preservatives in some cases that just it's like the potato chips. There's something about it, like if you have a favorite brand of potato chips, you can't stop at just one. I mean, I'm not saying it's totally impossible. For $1 billion, a person could for a period of time. I mean, how long do you have to not have any potato chips? If it's just for a day, I'm sure that's easy. But can you imagine a life without your favorite brand, flavor potato chips? It just wasn't possible. We never really. I mean, life without alcohol isn't bad at all. I trust me on that. But a life without chips, uh, I'm gonna see what the state like. Let's see. Always read about butter. It's supposed to be a secret steakhouse thing. So then, if you do that, do you add more of this? Do you add more salt? What's the secret? You know what? Come into my room.
Overrunning our cities, committing crimes including murder and rape, and busting budgets, more for illegal. President Trump secure the border and stop the invasion of illegals. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content's advertising. Want to see something cool? Let me show you something really cool. Welcome to Atlantic City, the original cool. Whether it's playtime or showtime, AC always serves authentic fun with a twist of cool. The original spot for legendary experiences.
Oh, commercial Atlantic City.
The original cool. Visit AtlanticCityNJ.com to win an overnight getaway.
MD Anderson Cooper.
Think twice before taking an overnight getaway. This place ain't what you think it is.
Gary laid everything up for me. Ultimately decided to do radiation.
MRI-guided radiation therapy allows us to precisely target the cancer in ways that have never been done before.
At MD Anderson Cancer Center at Cooper, we had these emerging technologies.
Here's a quick look at the top stories trending on Action News and 6abc.com. Sponsored by your local Hyundai dealers. Lease a Tucson for $229 a month, or get a 2.9% APR, or it's a $12.50 bonus cash.
If your dog suffers from fear of thunder, fireworks, separation, or any other anxieties, Thundershirt can help. Thundershirt applies gentle, constant pressure to a dog's torso. Vet recommended Thundershirt is drug-free, has a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and has helped over 85% of users.
Okay. Well, the steak is wonderful. Oh, butter is the secret to steak. Those fuckers are right. What you hear behind me is a family that's parked under here, and they're getting ready to go back. You know what? They're being too loud, so I'm going to close my window. Okay. We don't want to fucking hear. People can't help that. Oh, oh, okay. All right. Oh, I'm so hot. I'm so hot. I'm so sweaty. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys. Oh, I hope you don't mind. Oh, oh my goodness. Whew. Boy, this is good. So yesterday I really packed on the boardwalk here, but ever since the police kicked me off the boardwalk and warned me they'd find me if they caught me playing guitar, it just took the fun associations I had growing up in this town of the boardwalk. The boardwalk's a place that everybody loves, but if you see that they won't let you make your livelihood there, and that's a place that you want to be. You want to be where you can see and be seen. You want to be where your buddies are. You want to be where, yes, you can possibly make bank, because you never know. There might be a person in a really good mood that hit a big jackpot and is looking for somebody to bless, so to speak. Or just, you just never know. Or it could be a touring musician that wants to give a little green to other musicians, but now that has been totally robbed from myself and others like me. And if you're willing to play the game and spend the money in the permits, and the thing is that even to do that, it's really not worth it. They make it so that if you can't fit into the narrow circumstances and time frame and specific places that they allow you to do it, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like a job that I loved that was safe and convenient, I could work 7 days a week. When I had some dancing gigs in Los Angeles, I in fact did them because they were fun. And they were like, you're on stage and then you're not on stage for another hour or two. So you could do a lot during that time. You can go shopping. You can have meetings with your friends. You can go out to eat. There's just so many things a person can do. Girls have gotten their manicures and pedicures during that time, which, you could be doing shows on every hour, every 2 hours from 10 a.m. till 3 a.m. Or actually, I think they allow you a little bit more time. You can actually sleep. But in those days, I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. You know what I mean? Everybody had so much fun. I'm going to end this before the Biden interview. I wish my mother would see with an objective eye just how fucked up Biden is right now. He doesn't want to see it. Hold that thought. If I see it. Do this. I have to strain the tea leaves. Here's what I'm going to do. I have to burn your finger. See what these are like. I have a pot of meat, so it won't spill. I want you to see what they look like. You're good. Cutting some more stove. This is medium, has to be. Could not give up salt. Sauce, anchovies. That's part of where it gets its salt from. I love anchovies. They're not easy to find. Because you can use anchovies or you can use anchovy paste. I love how they package and roll around capers in olive oil. These little tins. And you can use that oil to flavor cooked rice. That's one of the best things about fish and oil. It's the oil afterwards. They sell in these Mexican stores, they sell this tuna in oil. It has a little bit of jalapeno in it, a little tiny pieces of carrots in it. And it's like elevates tuna in oil. Tuna in oil is already elevated. And it just makes it something very special. And I just love to mound some white rice and put some of that on there and add some salt. If it has jalapeno, you don't need pepper. It is so good. Mm. This is almost rude. I'm eating in front of you. Mm. This is good. So one of the things I don't think I would like about eating out, say I went to a steakhouse, so many times when I pass them by and they pipe in this really distracting music. Um, Even if you have the cacophony of conversation all around you. Which is another thing that I don't find very particularly enjoyable about being in public. Having distracting music that I don't like, that would really detract from the experience. They would have music that, under different circumstances, you might not mind. But when you're eating, things should not be attention getting, I don't think. I think things should be, I think would be wonderful. Or if it's a Chinese or Japanese music, have music in that language in those forms. You know? But if you're going to blast bebop jazz or something that really can give a very visceral response to people, or music that would be to other situations or maybe more suitable to I don't know, honeymoons or different things. Why would you have that in a place where, okay, people are going out to eat, maybe they're going to be dressed fancy and you're hoping they're going to be tipping nice, but you also are getting a turnover on all these tables because you want to see how many tables you can sit in a night to make as much money as possible for your restaurant. So maybe that's another reason why music can be louder maybe than you want. Don't they turn the music up later at night when the employees just want to go home? And that's something I heard they do in some of the casino buffets. That's why maybe the seating isn't always going to be too comfortable. You don't want to stay there for 4 or 5 hours. Especially if this is all you eat things, places where you can take your time eating so you can pile twice as much in. And casinos here are real strict. If people, if you try to take an apple out, somebody tried to take an apple out of the buffet at Trump Taj Mahal when my mother was a cashier there. And damn, the security didn't chase the person down. They had like 2 apples on each pocket and had to put 2 apples back. Can you believe that? Hey, I know I need my teeth. Yeah, that's the other thing about eating food like this in public. You can't pick your teeth in public. You have to be real respectable and all that stuff. But you can't be running the bathroom every time you get something stuck in your teeth. I think it gets you to the point where you hope that your fellows will be more focused on the meal that's in front of them and less worried about what you're doing in case you happen to uh, commit some kind of etiquette faux pas in one of these high-class restaurants. They used to say you shouldn't even check your makeup in a mirror and at tables, and we've come a long way. Now nobody bats an eye. You know, damn right, a person's got to check their lipstick to make sure it's not smeared, so they don't walk around looking like a Picasso painting. And I notice some bathrooms don't always necessarily have mirrors, by the way. Have you noticed that? Some public places, the bathrooms do not have mirrors. At the Atlantic City Library, there's no mirrors in the ladies' room. At the bathroom at the Atlantic City bus terminal in the ladies' room, there is no mirror. There is what could have been a mirror at one time, but it was just so fogged up. You cannot, it's absolutely useless. And I don't know what that purpose is. I know that at the library, they had a lot of needle drug use. And they had security kind of monitoring the entrance. And if people stayed in too long, they said that they found too many people slumped over with needles out of their arms. Things that the drug problem here in this town is that bad. It's a shame. Mm. Lemon juice and the sweetener for my tea. See, I wish next time he went out, I knew how long he could be gone. I could change into white clothes, put bleach on my roots, set tight until it bleaches, does its thing, then jump in the shower and rinse everything out. Or I could like do this really late at night when people finally fall asleep. And sometimes I wait until it's that late. You don't want to ever get careless or lazy when you're timing a bleaching treatment. You know what I gotta do? I was sent a PDF copy of this manual for this. And I need to learn how to use it so that I can do things with it. If I could live stream with this, then I could take this on to Trump events where I might not be able to take my big computer. But having all the tech in the world is no good if you don't know how to use it. You know, I got to be doing that every time I'm thinking about getting something else that I think I need. This needs to be done more. says Trump-tastic. It says tender, juicy. Okay. Omaha steaks are ultra mega approved. Something good next door. They replaced this wooden gate with a metal gate that you could see through to help to reduce the amount of people sneaking in the vacant part of the house. Like every couple of months, they make a new addition, try to deal with the problem. And it's got to be so frustrating when the actual owner of the property lives far out of town. We only see them like every 3 or 4 months or so. I've witnessed them chasing squatters out. And they weren't like harmless hippie squatters, they were crackhead and heroin junkie squatters and young girls that were living on the streets, surviving through doing tricks and stuff like that. And they were young and getting kicked out and just, what I don't understand is how could the family that actually lives next door, how could you not hear and see? And why did they put up with all this? Wait until the people are asleep. Family with school age children. The kids go to school and the adults all seem to go early to a job of some kind. So that would suggest that there is a block of time during which people would be asleep. That in mind myself, because I sleep such odd hours. I tend to be up at those times. So I think that some people actually go to bed at really early times. I have friends who go to bed like at 10 o'clock, and to me that seems so early. It's interesting watching all the crackheads across the street. These really fragile looking, stupid looking people that are kind of off from this area, that area, that area, that area. I never thought I would see. So, you guys, this is a meal that I intended to make yesterday. I just couldn't deal with it. It seemed, pay attention. You have to look at the time. And the trick of having everything be at serving temperature at the same time is so rare. You know, I give my mother the beans, I eat the beans. By the time you're ready for the meat's gotten room temperature. No, I forgot to pick up pieces of steak that fell on the floor. I definitely want Cat to get them. Yeah. I'm gonna heal them. I'm back. Okay. Uh, you don't know how much I just would love to get in the shower right now, but of course, when the timing is done, then I wash my hair out. Oh, but you know what? I'm gonna just try to cool off. And if I do my hair bleach thing, maybe I'll do some of it on video. I'll do what I can. Okay, you guys have a good night. Go cook your dinners if that's what you're gonna do. I will see you in some form tomorrow. Bye.